When I first moved abroad for work, I was 21 and eager for a fresh start. I had taken a job as a live-in caregiver for an elderly woman named Margaret. She lived in a large, Victorian-style home on the outskirts of a quiet town. The house was old, but well-maintained, the kind of place that held stories within its walls. I remember thinking it was beautiful, with its antique furniture and grand staircase. I never imagined it would become the setting for the most terrifying experience of my life. Margaret was kind but frail, in her late 80s, and suffering from early dementia. Her son had hired me to assist her with daily tasks, keep her company, and ensure she took her medication. She mostly kept to herself, sitting in her armchair by the window, gazing outside as if waiting for something, or someone. The first few nights were uneventful. I settled into my small attic bedroom, listening to the creaks and groans of the old house as I drifted off to sleep. But on the fourth night, something strange happened. I woke up to the sound of footsteps in the hallway. Slow, deliberate steps, just outside my door. My heart pounded as I sat up, straining to listen. The house was supposed to be empty, apart from Margaret and me. I told myself it was just my imagination, maybe the old pipes shifting. But then, I heard it again. A shuffle. A pause. And then, something lightly scraped against my door. I held my breath, gripping the blankets, waiting for the sound to fade. After a few minutes, everything went silent again. I barely slept that night. The next morning, I asked Margaret if she had gotten up during the night, though I knew it was unlikely. She shook her head and gave me a strange look. Then, in a quiet voice, she said, "He just likes to watch." A chill ran down my spine. "Who?" I asked. Margaret turned her gaze to the window. "The man in the hall." I forced a laugh, trying to shake off the unease. "There's no man, Margaret. Just you and me." She smiled faintly. "He doesn't like when you say that." That night, I locked my door. I told myself it was just her dementia, that she was confused. But deep down, I felt something was wrong. Around 2 a.m., I woke up suddenly, feeling as if someone was in the room with me. My skin prickled. The air felt thick. I turned my head slowly toward the corner, and that's when I saw it. A figure, tall, unmoving, standing in the shadows. I couldn't see its face, but I knew it was staring at me. I wanted to scream, but my voice caught in my throat. I fumbled for the lamp on my nightstand and switched it on. The second the light flooded the room, the figure was gone. Just gone. I barely slept after that. Every night, I kept the lamp on, but the feeling of being watched never left me. A few days later, while cleaning the upstairs hallway, I noticed something odd. One of the floorboards near my door looked slightly raised. Curious, I crouched down and pried it up. Inside the hollow space beneath the floor, I found a bundle of old photographs. They were black and white, aged with time. As I flipped through them, my hands started to tremble. Each one was a picture of a young woman. Different women, but all taken in the same spot, right where my bed was now. And in the background of every photo, standing in the doorway, was a shadowy figure. I dropped the photos and stumbled back, my breath coming in short gasps. That night, I packed my bags. I didn't care about finishing my contract, about my paycheck. I just needed to leave. But as I crept down the stairs, Margaret's voice stopped me. "He won't let you go," she murmured from her chair, her eyes empty. I swallowed hard. "What do you mean?" She turned her head slowly toward me. They all tried. I ran. Out the door, down the driveway, as far as my legs could carry me. I never went back. A few weeks later, I looked up the history of the house. It had belonged to Margaret's family for generations. But what caught my attention was a series of unsolved disappearances. Young women, caregivers, just like me. None of them were ever found.